The Backdoor Roth IRA contribution is getting a lot of attention. I mean, we love that strategy. However, there's one scenario where you should not do it, and that's in regards to the IRA Basis Aggregation rules. Oh my goodness, that just sounds nerdy. I'm going to explain that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I am the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. So right now, lots of people are looking at, hey, how much can I contribute to my IRA, to my Roth? What should I be contributing to? Because I got to get in on this hot market, and I should do so using tax shelters, and we'll see how well that ages. But the Backdoor Roth IRA is something that's used when you can't make a just normal contribution directly to your IRA, or excuse me, directly to your Roth IRA because you make too much money. Okay, the income limits are 130 or so if you're single, and 195 or so if you're married, filing a joint return. If you make more than that and you're still looking to save money into a Roth, well, the Backdoor Roth is an option. The problem with the Backdoor Roth is how the IRS looks at your basis inside of your IRAs. And this is something very confusing. Even many accountants and CPAs don't recognize this as they're serving their clients. So I'm just going to do a little bit of teaching here. Bear with me, but you know that an IRA, as you contribute money into it, it's before tax. You get a tax deduction. So that is not, it doesn't count towards your basis. Your basis is zero. You deduct that contribution. You invest those dollars and they go up and down over time. As they grow, it's tax deferred. So the interest and capital gains and all of that, you're not having to pay tax on each year. It's sheltered, right? But then when you take the dollars out, whether it's the growth or the amount that you contributed, that's taxable. And it's taxable at ordinary income tax rates just like you earned it, okay? So that's how the IRA works. The Roth IRA is just about the opposite. Let's make sure I do this within frame here. The Roth IRA, your contribution is after tax. You do not get a tax benefit as you make that contribution. You invest it and can invest it in the exact same thing. It goes up and down, right? But that, again, all of that activity, the capital gains and dividends, all that, that's sheltered. That's sheltered, it's tax deferred. And then if you qualify, 5-year rule, age 59 and a half, we've talked about that. We're not going to get into the minutia of those things in this video. But the growth, when you draw it out, if you're qualified, that growth comes out tax free. And this contribution that you made is your basis. You never deducted it in the first place. This is your basis. And this, when you draw that out, it's not taxed again, okay? And some people say, well, that money is tax-free as well. No, you already paid tax on that money. That's your basis. So let me erase this. Now the question, though, we're talking about the Backdoor Roth IRA, and the big problem that we see many people make when they're trying to do this catchy strategy, the Backdoor Roth, and even accountants recommend or even suggest this to some clients, and they're not even aware of how the IRA aggregation rules work. So the Backdoor Roth is, hey, if I can't contribute directly to my Roth IRA because I make too much money, I'm still eligible to contribute to an IRA, I just can't deduct it. So I will make an after-tax contribution in here. You can see I've got different colors. Now I've muddied the water here, and then I'll just convert that after-tax money into a Roth, okay? So the idea, people think, well, I've got all of my pre-tax money in my IRA, so I'll just lob an after-tax contribution on top of my pre-tax money, and then I'll take just this after-tax portion and I'll move that to my Roth. Because I just lobbed it on top, now I'll just cut it off the top and move it to my Roth. Not allowed to do that. That's the IRA aggregation rule. Once you put in the after-tax money, and you've got after-tax money and pre-tax money, it's now proportionate. You can't just select, I want to take this source and transfer that. It's now proportionate. Pretend that this is 90% now of your total IRA is your pre-tax amount, and your after-tax amount is 10%. Now when you go to convert or move money to your Roth, 90% of it will be taxable, because they actually look at these rules and say, well, you put after-tax money in, but when you go to take it out, whether you're moving it to a Roth or whether you're taking it out to just live on, you can't just take a chunk off the top. You have to take slices down the side. And that's a terrible line there. But you slice it up on the way out this way, not horizontally. So therefore, you get 10% of after-tax money, so that's not taxable when you take that out, but you're going to get 90% taxable of whatever you take out. If it's $1,000, if it's $10,000, whatever it is, you're going to draw it out proportionately. Does that make sense? So the way people think I can get around this then, people think, okay, I got it. I'm smart enough for this. I've got my IRA that has all my before tax money in it. I want to do this backdoor Roth. I will open another IRA. I'll open a new one. And the only thing that goes in here is after tax. And then I'll leave this one alone. I'll put my after tax money in here. I'm supposed to be using red for that. After tax money in here. And I'll just move this to my Roth. No. All IRAs are aggregated to determine when you draw money out, what slice are you taking? Okay, all of them. And I mean an IRA here, an IRA there, an IRA at Fidelity, an IRA at American Funds, an IRA at Vanguard, wherever they're at, they're all aggregated. And by IRA, I also mean SEP IRA. I also mean simple IRA. That's right. Even though those are retirement plans, they're still IRAs and they still fit within this IRA aggregation rule. The only IRA that does not fit within this IRA aggregation rule is an inherited IRA. So the IRA basis and aggregation rule is an enormous, enormous issue that you've got to be aware of if you're trying to do a backdoor Roth. There are ways around it though, okay? There are ways around it. And if I can just go a little bit further, 401ks do not have the aggregation rule. You know, within your 401k, you can contribute pre-tax, you can contribute Roth, you can even contribute after tax to your 401k. And then when you retire or you leave that employer, or if they allow in-service rollovers or in-service withdrawals, you can take those pieces vertically, take them and transfer them to their respective places. So one way to fix and get around this rule is you could lift your pre-tax money up and move it into a 401k. I don't know if you can see that well, but you can lift your pre-tax money up, move it into a 401k. Now you don't have pre-tax money. Now you can contribute after-tax money to an IRA. You don't have any other basis or any pre-tax money, and convert that right to a Roth. Perfect. The other option you could do is you could contribute after-tax money into your 401k. Now inside your 401k, you've got a bunch of pre-tax money, but then you've thrown some after-tax money on top of it. And then if they have in-service withdrawal rules, or when you retire, you can take it vertically. You can move this directly to your Roth, as opposed to taking it in slices up and down. Okay? Very, very confusing, but this issue of a backdoor Roth is getting more and more and more attention as people are potentially making more money, or they've sold something, now your income's too high and you want to contribute to a Roth, and you're thinking, and again, many CPAs are thinking, just do a backdoor Roth. Huge problem if you've already got pre-tax IRAs, but not a problem that can't be overcome with creative and helpful, beneficial financial planning. Work with your certified financial planner. This is their job. Their job is to come up with these creative strategies to help you get from wherever you are to where you want to go. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online, corehorn.com, that's Corehorn with a K, or wisemoneyshow.com, or just send us an email, info@corehorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.